This lesson is about adding and subtracting with unlike denominators. You're going to learn to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. That makes life more difficult when the denominators are different. Okay, here's our first problem, 1/8 plus 2/7. Just first notice that these denominators are different. You have to find a common denominator in order to add them. Every single time, I would like you to write this problem going up and down like this. I'd like you to set the problem up like this. You need to count excuse me, by sevens, and you need to count by eights until you come to a number that they both share. In this case, the least common denominator is going to be 56. The highest that this number ever needs to be is these two numbers times each other, which in this case, that's exactly what it is. So 56 is the common denominator. 8 times something equals 56. That something is 7. If we multiply by 7 on the bottom, we multiply by 7 on the top. 1 times 7 is 7. So 1/8 and 7/56 are the same thing, but this happens to be in a form that we're going to be able to use. 7 times something equals 56. That something is 8. If we multiply by 8 on the bottom, we also multiply by 8 on the top. 2 times 8 equals 16. So 16/56 is the same thing as 2 sevens. But now that our denominators are the same, we are able to go ahead and add those numbers. All you do is add the 7 plus the 16 to give you 23 over, keep your denominator, which is 56. 23 over 56. 23 and 56 share no common factors, so this is already in simplest form. Okay, when you add numbers, you do not have to change this mixed number to an improper fraction. It's fine the way it is. But let's go ahead and write this going up and down. 1 1/6 plus 5/8. Notice that the 6 and the 8 are the denominators and that they are different. So we're going to need to multiply by something to get a common denominator. It's very common to forget about this whole number 1, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it there so I don't forget about it. Now when we count by 6s and we count by 8s, we get 6, 12, 18, 24, and with 8 we've got 8, 16, 24. The first one that we come to and that appears in both lists is 24. So our least common denominator is going to be 24. So I'm going to put that in both places. And now we need to figure out our numerators. 6 times something equals 24. That something is 4. We'll multiply top and bottom. 1 times 4 is 4. 8 times something equals 24, and that's 3, top and bottom. 5 times 3 equals 15. Now we can add these because they have a common denominator. 4 plus 15 equals 19 over, keep the denominator, 24, and bring down your whole number 1. Nothing can be simplified there, so our answer is 1 and 19/24. Again, notice that 3 and 8 are different denominators, so we're going to have to find the least common denominator. 1/3 plus 5/8. Count by 3s, count by 8s. The first number that you come to for both numbers will be 24. Here we multiplied by 8. Here we multiplied by 3. So 8/24 is the same as 1/3, and 15/24 is the same as 5/8. But now we can add them. 8 plus 15 is 23. Keep your 24, already in simplest form, so there's your answer. Okay, let's copy our problem. 2 1/6 plus 3/4. We notice the different denominators, so we're going to have to go through this painful process. Don't forget this whole number 2. I'm going to go ahead and put it here. Don't forget that you're adding. Okay, count by 6s, count by 4s. You might think the least common denominator is 24, but it's actually 12. 12 is the first multiple that you'll come to for both 6 and 4. So up here we're multiplying by 2 over 2, giving us 2/12. Here we're multiplying by 3 over 3, giving us 9/12. When we add, we get 11/12 and our whole number 2. All right, next we've got this kind where we're going to evaluate this expression for this value of the variable. So let's go ahead and plug in 5/6 minus 4/5. Let's go ahead and write that going up and down. 5/6 minus 4/5. Notice that the denominators are different, so we need to do this common denominator process. When you count by 5s and you count by 6s, the first number that they have in common is 30. Here we're multiplying by 5 over 5, giving us 25. Down here it's going to be 6 over 6, giving us 24. Okay, we need to remember that we are subtracting. That's probably the most common error on this type of problem, is that people add when they're supposed to subtract. 25 minus 24 is 1 over, keep your denominator, is 30, 1/30. Okay, again, we have an expression that we're going to evaluate for this value of the variable. We've got 5/9 minus -7/12. You should know that subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive, so it's really 5/9 plus 7/12. Okay, 9 and 12, we've got to come up with a common denominator here. And I hope you see that you don't need to do 9 times 12 to get that. 36 is a common multiple for both of them. So 9 times 4 is 36, 5 times 4 is 20, 12 times 3 is 36, and 7 times 3 is 21. We are adding here. So 20 plus 21 will give us 41 over 36, which we recognize is an improper fraction. There's 1/36 and 41 with 5/36 left over. So 1 and 5/36, and 5/36 can't be simplified, so we're done. Go ahead and pause so that you can work these problems on your own.